All right.
We've been live for 1 second now.
I am alive.
So we'll let the commercial run
Gone.
Look,
for
by the way,
anywhere
while we're
between
doing the
10
commercial,
seconds and 30 seconds.
I have a new mini. It just came in.
You do?
I haven't painted it yet.
Oh.
And it is custom.
It is custom. And
It
it's
feels really
steel.
heavy.
It is steel instead of plastic. It's
Yeah.
from Hero Forge, and I went with the steel one. This
Cool.
time.
What was the expense on that difference?
It's about $40.
Oh no, from plastic
Yeah.
to steel was only
Yeah.
$5.
It was,
It's
yeah, it was
35.
$5
Yeah,
more.
because they're usually 30.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
it goes-
Like that's what I was gonna say. It wasn't much of a jump.
No.
It is a little like
It's not as detailed.
Like there's a lot of like finishing on there. Like it's real grippy. So it looks a lot better now. It's primered, but it was pretty
Well,
rough.
see, I didn't want to paint them.
So
I
you're
looked up
moving
how
to the
paint
Warhammer
metal ones, and it was
Warhammer
like,
phase.
You can only use some.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Like
fine.
it should be fine after you primer it, but we'll have to figure it out.
Okay, well, good. Hero Forge makes really good figures, I think. And the cost is a little steep, but the fact that you can custom build anything you want is
Oh my.
well worth it.
They
Yeah,
have
well
the
worth it.
craziest option. Like even now, looking from when I
You guys
built
slick.
it, my other one months ago,
Now that I'm
they have
using
like they have a storm cleric design. Like that's where I pulled a lot of those armor pieces from.
Oh, really?
And that is all new. None
Oh,
of
I
that
didn't-
was
I
there
didn't know
before.
that.
I feel like every week we get on there, it's like
They've got some new things
Yeah.
posted. Yeah,
It's cool. They've been
I
going
feel
crazy
like writing
for
to
months.
them and saying like, "Hey, add these 10 things." Like when you get to it, when you get around to it, but add these 10 things. You know. So okay, so
Free plug. You're welcome.
yeah, free plug for Hero Forge. I'd be willing to talk about an endorsement. Hero Forge, if your lawyers can break free from whatever time it is in Denmark or wherever you guys are located. Okay, so welcome everybody to Arragas, City of Dreams. I am the Bearded Foe, aka Sean Dixon. And as always, our intrepid band of heroes are with us tonight, with the exception of Julie, who we've had life rear its ugly head over the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I'm getting over an upper respiratory infection. So our off week could not have been planned more perfectly.
Yeah, like we
By
had
BT
That's
does.
true.
we had kids performing, so
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, it was nice. Our off week ended up being a bit of a mixed blessing. But Julie is out tonight, so we will have Liliana traveling around the city and just getting observing human dwarf relations and
Getting into trouble.
yeah, doing all of her exciting things. Okay, so last week we had our heroes came out of Frostbraid's Tavern, otherwise known as the Knee High, with this at least an inkling of an idea that there was some sort of importance tied to the dwarven coin that they had found, which had a skull and a comet on one side and the name Neurazius on the other. And they decided to head back to Sableguard Guildhouse in order to kind of confront Vance and Kurga about it. But also, I think their plan was to eventually sell back or give back the coin to Kurga. And they had a run-in with an old enemy, the Thunderstone Gang, led by a man of the same name, Thunderstone. He's a bit of an arrogant, POS as far as that goes, because who would name, their guild after themselves, like, I don't know, Blacken's Raiders, whatever. Anyway, that's an old World of Warcraft dig for those of you who played with me. And Thunderstone demanded retribution for the death of their man, Reaper. Reaper was his name, and as some of you may remember, Reaper was stabbed through the throat during a street battle, and mistakes were made. I shouldn't say mistakes were made. Decisions were made, and so no one was
himself out
able
of grief.
to.
Let's just say his reaping days came to a quick end.
An abrupt end. Yeah,
He's no longer reaping.
Reaper did not survive the fight, and there's still the jury's still out about why that may have occurred. But they were able to sort of talk their way out of it by getting with no small aid from Kethra, using some of her divine providence to sort of calm everyone down. Let's talk this out. Let's calm down. And then Liliana gave Vesper the gift of a silvered tongue, not knowing that his tongue was already pure silver. And so his advantage on charisma checks was a constant irritation.
Yeah,
to me.
like if I recall, he was levitating at one point.
Yeah, he was
that's right.
glowing with some sort of ambient.
an imaginary wind
Wondrous
blowing through
glory.
his locks.
Yeah, I do recall. seeing that.
So he was able to successfully argue that somebody else came along after the fight and finished off Reaper, who was laying unconscious and otherwise helpless in the streets.
Could have been some sort of shadow figure, some sort of ghost, or who knows.
Yeah, we
It's
don't really know,
world.
but
Actually, after investigating, I believe he murdered himself out of grief.
I
for
don't.
having failed.
No,
his
no one's
Easter-
That's
gonna-
right. He
No
didn't
one's
want to
gonna.
appear.
I mean, we can blame chaos cultists. They seem to be responsible for that.
Vesper, your
Criminal.
trail of lies. Let me give you a little bit of wisdom, right? Trail of lies always leads back home. Always. Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
It may go a
Charisma's
long
really
way
high,
out. It
Sean,
may
really
meander
high.
for a long time, but
Who's
eventually
president again?
it always comes back home.
Oh.
Wait, the Bearded Foe Incorporated does not condone any political
Right.
messages that may or may not.
Well, I
come
was
out.
honestly asking. I don't pay attention.
Yeah. Okay, so the main point being, though, that they were able to earn themselves a stay, and they've been given a week to find the person who is actually responsible for Reaper's death, and if they do not come to Thunderstone with compelling evidence of who the guilty person is, then they've agreed to meet at Grimnir's theater to settle it mano a mano.
That's going to be great too. We're going to do
Which
that.
yeah, which they're supposed to meet on the next. I think we said Luna Day, right? The third Luna Day. So you guys have a week. You guys have a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm investigating real hard.
So yeah, third Luna Day. It is
I
currently.
fully expect to have to fight the guy. So
You're not. I mean, I'm sure the three of you plus Liliana will probably at least look a little bit in earnest for
Right,
investigate
yeah. I
for
will.
this mysterious assassin. But all of your credible leads will point back to you guys as a group.
Well, unless you go to the prison, you find a guy on death row. and
Right, and I believe you
say, I'll
said
take care of your
he had
family.
red
if you
hair.
just owe up to the thunder.
Yeah, I believe you said he had red hair and a star-shaped birthmark on his face, or something. What did you say when you described the assassin?
it's just David Bowie.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like it was. You said something
like red hair, dreadlocks,
Ziggy
and
Stardust.
cross-eyed. Let's go with that.
no.
I don't.
You said it on camera. It's recorded. If I have to, I will pull up previous shows.
I can't keep track of all these.
Well, you should. When you go around accusing people of murder, you should at least know this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, and then from there they went to Sable Guard, and after a little cajoling and some vouching for and somewhat patronage by Vance, Kurga was coerced, or was not coerced. Kurga was convinced to let the party in to the inner circle of trust, and he revealed a secret that has far-reaching political impact in Arragas, and is a very painful thing for the dwarven people to have to keep a secret. And as far as Kurgan knows, not even every dwarf knows the secret. It's closely guarded. But the secret being that the coin that they found out in the swamps was minted by dwarves several hundred years ago as part of an ongoing payment or tribute to a black dragon that lived in the area named Neurazius, in exchange for basically being left in peace. Like, as long as they continued to pay the black dragon in gold and treasures, the black dragon didn't attack and kill them.
Good old-fashioned extortion.
Pretty standard stuff. I won't kill you as long as you pay me for my protection.
Yeah, it's Black Dragon 101.
Really, it is.
Which would make it a cool name for a movie.
Black Dragon 101. Yeah, maybe we could orchestrate.
I'm in the
some
Black
sort
Dragon
of,
Advance class.
some sort of once this show goes into syndication, we'll get with Netflix or Hulu and offer them a script to it at the newest original.
I feel like
Black
there'd be a lot
Dragon
of heavy
101.
metal in the soundtrack.
Yeah, I feel it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good
Wu-Tang.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That would be
Okay, so when we left off, it was the evening. It was the second Soul Day evening of the Lover's Moon, and the party was going to spend the rest of the week sort of looking for evidence and investigating the possibility that somebody came along behind them and murdered Reaper. And for those of you that weren't around for previous episodes, the party was going to try to save Reaper, but someone whose name rhymes with Spesper cast an illusion spell on Reaper to make it seem like he was not in any real distress. And so the healers in the party did not know that they needed to expend healing magic or healing arts on him to save his life. And the person who actually felled him did not realize that her strike had been so deadly. She just thought, it was just a lucky shot that knocked him unconscious. And, when she went back to look at him, he was fine, and actually, I believe he said, Thunderstone forever.
Thunderstone over and over and over.
I forgot about that part. They did. I
And he was
forgot that.
dead. All right.
Yeah.
He was already dead.
You
We had
know-
this unnecessary moral, ethical quandary.
I feel like
Right,
we have a pretty
keeping us
solid
in the
kill count
streets.
so far.
And elves, as generally speaking, elves believe in reincarnation. So as far as Vesper is concerned, and probably Liliana too, Reaper isn't dead, like finally dead. He's just in a period of transition right now.
How did a human Arragasian courts?
Oh, they would say it's murder.
Yeah, okay.
It's full on murder. You,
I was gonna
you don't
say-
get the death penalty for trying to rob somebody.
Is there an
Just-
elven judge somewhere I can appeal to?
yeah.
Just
Well, the problem with elven judges is that they just assume everyone is guilty because
they just
you've
put
done
everybody
something.
to-
At some point in your many lives, you've done something that probably
They
deserves.
just put you to death for
A
literally
reboot.
everything.
well, they
It's
just
gonna be
don't.
Fine, you're going to be reincarnated.
Yeah, you'll come back as probably somebody better
Yeah, you're
Maybe
going to have a better
you
life
will.
in 2
Yeah.
seconds.
in 2 seconds. Yep. Okay, so we pick up on the morning of the second Grimnir day.
It's my favorite day.
Of the Lover's Moon, yeah. And we've got our group has decided to split up a little bit to do their investigation. Also, partially because when you work really closely with people for a long time, sometimes you just need a little break from them. And investigation is a perfect time to say, "Oh, I'm gonna go down East Street. You guys go down West Street, and we'll meet back up tonight and compare notes with what we found. So you guys basically search around. I need everybody to make an investigation roll.
Ooh, first one with the new
Okay,
guy.
so just real quick, I got these new dice from Die Hard Dice. Look at that bad.
Oh, that is so nice.
That is
That's
a sexy
some
guy.
good-looking stuff.
Look at that. I'm gonna roll him officially for the first time in a game.
All right, here we go.
And it's gonna be
Who
pretty
did you
sweet.
get those dice? Why don't you tell the story?
I
behind
did.
it?
I got them from someone as a gift. So yes, I did
Okay.
get them
Yeah.
from someone.
Just checking.
Well, I don't even remember what we're rolling. I got so excited.
Investigation.
Investigation.
I don't know, but I want to see.
All right, cool. I'm proficient in that, and I got a 7. Let's see. I got a dirty 20. That
Very
is
good.
Nice.
Very good.
What are we
I
rolling?
feel like this dice. could be a good one.
Investigation.
17.
17.
13.
13. Okay, great. And we got a dirty 20 from Arister.
I got a 14.
And a 14. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So, like I said, you guys go back to the scene of the crime. You start investigating, looking around. You know, it takes you a little bit to find the street because it's been so long since you've actually traveled to that area. But eventually, you start recognizing landmarks, and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. Here's where it was. You know. And so you start asking around. You know, there's some stall vendors, and there are people who live near there, and there are people who run businesses. And you start saying, "Hey, do you remember when there was a brawl and this, that, and the other thing?" And unfortunately, there was someone was killed, and we were just wondering if you saw anything because by our accounting, we fought some bandits and drove them away, and then continued on our mission. And we found out later that one of the bandits had been killed in a very brutal way.
Does anybody finger these two as the culprits?
Well, nobody. Basically, your investigation, like I said, some people are like, they're blaming it on the government. Like, oh, he must have known this, the princess's dark secret about being a pig person in disguise, and so they had to get rid of him, and they just made it look like a street brawl.
What kind of mental health facilities and services do they have in Arragas?
Galuna takes care of persons who are simple or who have otherwise been touched by the gods. Not in the good way,
In the soft spot.
like before the skull sealed up, like when they were young, just push on that soft spot a little bit. The other people, basically say, "Oh, I don't remember," or "I would never speak out against Thunderstone."
I see.
But the people that do remember, they basically confirm that it was you guys. We recognized the tabards. And there was a fight, and you ran everyone off. A couple of the guys were laying in the street unconscious, and after you left, some of the citizens went over to check on them, and that's when they discovered that one of them was dead. We didn't see anyone. There after the fight, there was no other person coming along that had weapons or did any sort of...
I think after that, I would probably conclude that somebody must have gotten a lucky hit on that guy, and it must have just been like a freak accident type of death. Like, he must have had some kind of brain bruising, and that was undetectable, and something must have happened that he was like a weak egg. He was like an eggshell defendant.
With your dirty 20, you actually find someone who claims that they went over to him and realized within moments that he was dead, but they couldn't figure out why, because he had like just a little cut on his neck and like a little cut on his side.
Yeah, that
and it's not really, you wouldn't think. I mean, there was a lot of blood. There was a ton of blood. So the cut on his neck, I mean, maybe you got him in the special place.
So
we call it the geyser spot.
I'm going to say somebody didn't kill this guy, but maybe he was involuntarily manslaughtered. Maybe.
Are you an attorney or a paladin?
Hey,
wondering.
You know what? Paladins are versed in the law.
How long has Arister worked at the DA's?
I have a specialty. I have a specialty in investigation, which I assume legal stuff falls under.
Yeah, Okay.
You
He's the
could,
wisest of our
I
group.
am the smartest in this group.
Based on-
12 intelligence.
All right, that's right.
based
So,
on
mighty intelligence I've
Oh,
accumulated over my
I'm-
years of experience.
I'm equally as smart as you.
Oh, you are?
You're
Yeah,
as smart
yeah.
as us.
he just
Without
he just doesn't pop off about it all the time.
Well, you'd expect an elf would have plenty of time to study.
yeah.
I use my powers
So
for evil.
Yeah. He has obvious. I don't want to pull the race card, but he lives a really long time, so he's got time to read extra books. You know,
That's patently unfair.
I know, right? So really, in elf intelligence, you're like an 18.
Well, all right. There we
So
go.
Yeah.
other elves are like, wow, this guy's really smart for a human. Like I would guess 17 or 18. Okay, so you guys look around. You guys also ask about a red-headed man with a star-shaped birthmark on his face. No one has seen anyone like that. One person suggests that you might be looking for an Arragas player because they sometimes dress as clowns to entertain, street
street
entertainment. Folk. Yeah, just street entertainment. And there may have been, but nobody remembers there being any street entertainers on that particular day.
I'm going to go ahead and chalk that one up to a Vesper line.
I can't. I can neither confirm nor
I
deny
just
that.
feel
as the
like
DM.
I would conclude that with a reasonable assessment, knowing what I know about certain factors that have come up previously.
Yes.
So, that being the case, I'm going to assume that the red-headed man is a red-headed herring.
Yes. Is a redheaded herring. Good.
That's how it works.
his
That's the
name.
kind of quality
Tim-
stuff
Tim
you get here
Herring.
up here.
It fooled Thunderstone. That's all I know.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys spend the majority of the day investigating, and like I said, if you filter through all of the conspiracy theories and the people who are, my neighbor's wife did it because she's a witch, like that kind of stuff.
Well,
if you filter all of that junk out and get it away, all the credible evidence points to one of you guys did it, accidental or otherwise. One of you guys is responsible for Reaper's death.
In my infinite 13 wisdom, do I feel like Thunderstone's the type of guy to buy the story that his minion was just weak? and happened to die because of,
make a wisdom check. Just make a straight wisdom check.
okay, I got it with my shiny die. Oh, critical 20.
Critical 20.
Oh,
All
God.
right.
This thing's earning its keep already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't know enough about Thunderstone, the individual, to make an assessment like that. But in all of your attempts in the past to suggest that somebody died just because they were weak, it never went over very well.
I see.
Now, I mean, just like a lead balloon.
I'm
Just-
gonna go from here over to the Grimnir's Theater and start practicing.
and start hacking away at the practice dummies and
Because
stuff.
I get the feeling it's coming, and that's just at least we didn't have to kill all those guys in the street. That's nice. At least we
Yeah,
can do
compounding
It's true.
crimes upon the crimes.
Yeah, we can do this above board, kind of make it a little more legal.
Even though Millipoole's out of the city.
Right.
Did you agree that one of you was going to die at the end of it, or just whoever wins?
I
I don't
do
remember.
Grimnir duels typically are they to the death?
You guys have not. That was not.
We didn't establish that, I don't think.
Established during the negotiation.
I assume,
that will probably be established before the fight begins.
I assume there's some kind of like priest of Grimnir who's like hanging out there who officiates. these
There
things.
is actually not a priest of Grimnir. Grimnir has fallen out of favor. The only people who really worship Grimnir are the paladins.
I see.
Are the Order of the Blade.
Well, I'll be there.
So they're more like a.
You'll be okay.
They're like the militant remnant. Okay,
not really
so
like a cult, but like a militant order that's like
yeah.
falling
So
out of favor.
so you would know that Grimnir and Givney are a brother and a sister who ascended to godhood.
right.
And they both represent different aspects of battle. Grimnir is basically dark side, if you will. His philosophy is, if your enemy is foolish enough to draw a weapon on you and attack you, you need to destroy them to end all future threats, right? Like you just need to wreck them. Okay. Give Me was more along the lines of, we only engage in combat when we're protecting something that's that's noble, or that something that we love, or something that's personal to us, and you should always meet your opponent on equal footing, right? It's honorable combat. Grimnir believes no such thing. If you get the jump on someone and you've got a better weapon than they do, and they're eating an apple instead of being ready for battle,
it's the Punisher.
And so, as you might imagine, Grimnir began to fall out of favor when the city of Arragas was founded on a peace accord between three species.
The whole vengeance murder thing kind of fell out of favor.
And of course the Battle of the Boneyard gave everybody enough taste for bloodshed that nobody wants to pray for it anymore.
Well, it's hard to get vengeance on a giant dead dragon.
That's correct. And so the paladins are really the only ones left who are sort of carrying the flame.
Got it.
They still believe that there are some things in this world that don't deserve any mercy. They don't deserve any quarter. You don't bargain with them. You don't negotiate with them. You just destroy them. You just get them. You just remove them from the equation.
Well, then in that case, I'm definitely going to prepare for my duel. If there's any Grimnir dudes there that want to show me some moves, I would mostly appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure there might be somebody around.
Hey, bro.
What's up? I might have to kill a dude here. Maybe you can help me out with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill somebody.
Come on, I'll show you.
Preferably finishing moves.
No, they wouldn't use that many words. It'd just be like, bruh.
Hold on.
Bruh.
Sometimes we say spot.
And that would be the whole conversation.
unless they outrank you, in which case they're allowed to say, yeah, bro.
No one says that.
I will start. We can go to the gym and I'll start saying it right there.
Hey, listen, for the viewers at home, okay, I can't be 110%. All right, I'm gonna throw some things out and they're just gonna fall on the ground, and I'm happy just leaving them there if you are. I'll leave them there if you do. So yeah, no, Roy. We'll just let that one fall by the wayside. Okay, so you don't find anyone at Grimnir's theater that's willing to. Not any follower of Grimnir. They're sort of like, First of all, you're dressed as a paladin of Give Me.
That's true.
And so they're like, that's like little sister asking big brother for help.
I'm just like, listen, I've murdered a lot of people in my time, so I don't have exact numbers, but
because I stopped counting after 2.
Let me just say, I used to hang out with this dude who sliced off people's noses all the time.
Wait, no, there wasn't
is...
the other campaign.
What?
That wasn't in our campaign.
No, that guy's in this universe. We
The
played him in
guy?
that side session.
Oh yeah, that was our side session.
Yeah,
where we
Dalrek the Nose Taker.
Yeah, but you, Aristor, never met him.
No,
How do you know?
They knew each other from the army. Did you not? When Dalrek was dying, he left a note that said, "Arister, avenge me."
I know.
In blood.
I don't remember this at all.
On a rock. It's on.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it's written in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arister, we'll have to. I'll have to write a script for the episode where we find that little gem in the woods.
Dalrek, no.
A single tear. Okay, so
He's in Restus's unit, or one of them that he knows. I'm buddies with those.
Restus is a lieutenant. He's a cavalry lieutenant who does a lot of groundwork too. He does a lot of scouting. So it's very likely that Restus knew Dalrek the Nose Taker.
Okay.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. Okay, so we will say that at some point, well, we'll just go around the table because we've got to. I feel like our players need to touch base with some of the important people in their lives. Catherine, she needs to visit her father, Logan Sogard.
Yeah, I'm really hungry too, and Dad always makes really good roast. So
He does. He has a. It's pretty much all he makes is roast and potatoes, but he's gotten it down to a science at this point.
well, and if I go too long, then I
Did you want to take my armor with you to get it fixed?
Do you want me to do that?
I don't care.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
So you're all like buddies now? I thought
So
he was
Well,
narking
I mean,
on you
if he's
and
gonna have to fight
making
this
you watch
battle,
out.
my dad can fix it.
It's a guild
So
discount, right?
I don't want him to. No. Mm-mm.
Why not?
Why would he give you a discount?
well, you know,
for
you
future
would be able
business.
to turn your if it's your actual paladin armor, you can turn that in and have it repaired at the keep. For free.
This is my disguise armor. For
Oh,
sure.
your street knight, your hedge knight,
mail.
yeah, your hedge knight armor.
For obviously exclusive repair rights for everybody in the guild.
No, I don't.
We will
think
give
my
him
dad cares about
preferential.
that.
Okay, well, run it by him. Run it by him because he
I'll
might
run
be
it by
okay
him.
with
Should
it.
run it by.
We'll sign a
Okay.
contract saying he'll be our
Okay.
exclusive armor smith.
Do you have the ability to make that statement? I thought that'd be something that
I am pretty sure that now that I'm in the inner circle of trust, I can make these kinds of business decisions.
I bet you can't.
Mm,
I'm thinking there's a 9 out of 10% chance.
I feel like the title's not there, but the intent is.
Yeah. Do you want me to take this armor?
Well, you're all
If you really do.
you're all in the inner circle of trust. So what makes
Right.
if she doesn't feel that she's able to make a decision like that, what gives you the feeling?
He's Arister and he's arrogant.
Well, what gave you the feeling? I mean, what
Um,
was there something that Vance did or said, or Kurga did or said that made you feel like you could start bartering exclusive armor smithing deals around Arragas?
well, I mean, just generally the fact that I'm an adult.
I see. Okay. pulling the old, I'm twice as old as you, Kethra. Yeah.
wow,
Okay, yeah.
now I'm definitely not
So-
listening.
Yeah, he's starting to sound like your dad.
I feel like
You gotta be an
powers
adult.
need to make these.
They
kinds
did
of
like each
decisions.
other, if I do recall. Arister and my dad met, and
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is this could help your dad's business.
I mean, I don't think you can say just. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, bye. She loads your
Yeah.
split mail up onto a little trolley or whatever, and she,
Palanquin.
A little wheelbarrow.
yeah,
And I just
she
wheelbarrow.
wheels it over. Logan is there working at his smith, like he always is. He actually loves smithing. So it's not just a profession for him. Like he's very. He gets very fulfilled when he creates something that's high quality. So he very often works into the night at his forge, and so you find him working when you get there. He greets you as he always does with a great big hug. He finishes hammering out a few things. And then asks you if you would like some roasted potatoes.
Oh,
We got
yes, I would love some roasted potatoes.
Shh.
Dad, that's why I'm here.
Uh,
Also, Dad, there's this thing.
uh,
This is.
he looks at
Thing.
some. Is it the split mail?
It's a split mail.
He says, "Oh, are you wearing this now?"
No, I'm not wearing
Okay,
this.
good.
But a friend of mine from the guild, remember Arister? You met him. He's the old guy. He.
Well, not so old, but yes, I remember.
I
him.
thought he was pretty old.
The paladin, right?
Yeah, the
of
paladin.
Gibney.
He was hoping
Seems
you
like a
could
good guy.
you could fix it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a little bit of wear and tear here, but nothing I probably can't get finished in a day or so.
Awesome.
Just-
Okay.
Yeah, just put it over there on the mannequin for me.
Oh,
I'll get the plates out.
okay. And I'll go hang it up. And then I'm gonna be like, Dad, how are you doing? What's going on? I haven't seen you in like 4 days.
I've been keeping busy. I'm fine. He kind of makes small talk about doing business and how Gruz has been stopping by a lot lately. Gruz being the dwarven blacksmith that's really, really good friends with your dad.
Dorga's dad.
I think it is Dorga's dad. Yeah, it's Dorga's dad. Yeah. He's been coming by, visiting me and sort of pestering me around the smith, and so we couple of old guys get to banging away and laughing and joking and
Dad,
before
maybe you shouldn't phrase it that way.
Well,
Where do you say it? Like maybe just phrase it.
We just like hammering things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
Contracts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, mostly steel. Mostly steel.
Contracts. Yeah. Yep.
He. Do you guys eat and
yeah, I'm just gonna.
He asks you how your guildmates are faring.
God. I'm gonna tell him about the swamp and how Arister came back with a reptile that's now his pet, and he thinks he's gonna ride it around, and how like we got in trouble for murdering a guy we didn't murder, and how Arister's probably gonna have to fight this guy now. It's just adulting is really hard, Dad.
So he gets a little angry
about the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. When you talk about trudging around in the swamp, he kind of, I mean, that's guild life for you, I guess. You got to trudge around, and then when you tell him about Arister bringing back a huge lizard, he's never understood pets and animal husbandry.
Yeah, I know. You never let me have animals as a kid.
Well, because they're dirty and they're messy, and lizards are the worst of all because they have tiny brains.
Well, I have a cat now, Dad.
Can't even teach him any tricks.
I do have a cat. I have a cat now, Dad.
When he cats aren't much better than lizards.
That is incorrect.
Catherine.
Fabby, so sweet.
My darling. When you get to the part about we're accused of a murder we didn't commit, you see him, like, he basically puts his fork down and his jaw starts clenching in the way that it clenches when you know you're about to be in deep trouble.
Glorious.
And he asks the question, murder? But he spits it out like it's like, murder?
No, Dad. Okay, no, calm down. Just bring it down. Bring it down here. We're right here. Let's go here. We got in a fight protecting somebody, doing normal guilty stuff, right? We had to protect a guy, a bunch of guys jumped us. We protected the guy, but I guess, I checked all these people before we left to see if anybody needed to be healed, because I'm not going to let anybody die or get seriously injured. We just wanted them unconscious. And I looked, Dad, and not only did I look, I mean, I know you don't trust elves, but the elf looked too, and both of us found out that everyone was alive and breathing and fine. But then, it seems as though, I don't know, he was dead a little bit later. So it must have been somebody
I'm
else.
laughing. He's not laughing.
It must have been
Logan's
somebody
not
else,
laughing.
and
What's
we
in
had
history?
nothing. We didn't have anything to do with it. I'm just saying. I checked. I double checked.
Okay. Well, while
It'll be fine.
while you're going through the explanation, your dad continues to eat, and you can tell by the way that he's cutting his meat, and you eventually trail off on the explanation, and you guys have a nice 20-minute in silence dinner because you've known him your whole life, and you know that there's just a certain point where you just have to stop talking and let him digest everything, and he's and you just have to wait and see what he says. And after a while, he puts his fork down and he sort of wipes his mouth and he looks at you and he says, I know that I can seem overprotective sometimes, but I'm still not over the death of your mother. And you are the only thing of hers that remains in this world, and I don't like to hear that your guild work is putting you in danger. You know, you're headstrong like her, and I know I won't be able to tell you to stop. And I suppose that is what I'm trying to protect, is how much like your mother you really are. You know, I need to know that you're safe, and I need to know that you're not getting mixed up in anything illegal.
Nothing is illegal. It was... Dad, I'm sorry.
Except
I love
for the
you.
murder.
I'm sorry. I won't get into anything
Involuntary manslaughter.
too crazy. I promise.
All right.
I give up.
Do you want some more roast
I
beef?
won't believe you.
Catherine makes a mental note to just not share these stories with her father anymore.
Well, he was fine with the swamp and the lizard part.
Yeah, no,
and the
I
cat
figured that
part.
out. Yep.
And then you're like, and then the murder that we're not really playing.
So
And you just sort of threw it out there.
there are certain levels that Dad can handle. Dad can't handle that
Did you
level.
not tell him
Yeah.
that Arister was going to smooth it over by murdering it?
I didn't get to that part because he did the
Yeah,
angry
pass. Let's just pass on that.
thing. We didn't get
Defense.
to that.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll murder the false accusers who accused us of murder.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna be fine.
okay. So he, after you finish eating, he says, "Well, come back down to the forge. I want to show you something."
Okay.
And he leads you downstairs and takes you over to one of the mannequins, and he's got like this cloth thrown over it. Mm-hmm. And when he pulls it off, when he pulls the cloth off, there is a suit of plate armor there that looks as if it's been crafted for you.
Okay, question though. Out of character. How
Okay.
can I tell that that's crafted for me?
It's got booby plates.
Oh,
And when I say booby plates, I don't mean like the Hollywood like
spiky booby plates.
booby plates.
Not the Madonna?
It's just there's
Yeah.
room for
It's made for
it to be worn
16-year-olds.
comfortably. Yeah, it can be worn comfortably. Because anyone who knows anything about armor would know that if you actually carve boobs into it, it basically funnels the sword right to your heart when someone tries to stab you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but it's also your size. Like it's,
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at it and you can envision yourself standing in the armor.
He put a wig matching your hair on the mannequin.
Yeah.
So
He's
it's pretty
got
obvious.
That much attention to detail.
It's Kethra's written across
Dad,
the
what is
mannequin.
this?
This is a gift to you from me, and
Dad, is this mine? Did
It
you
is.
make this?
I did.
Oh my gosh!
Well, I have to admit that Gruz helped me a little bit with some of the carving and the gold. But your friend Weeneg actually returned the plate mail that I built for him, and said something about priests of Galuna don't have need of armor. So he wished to tell me to extend thanks to you. And he was already, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the man, but he was kind of,
I know.
he was of a frame
Right.
similar to yours, so the adjustments weren't that difficult to make. And Grez and I worked on it. And anyway, I can't be there to.
Oh my god, Dad, this is the best! And I'm gonna jump on him and give him a big hug.
Okay. He hugs you back, and he just says, promise me that you'll wear it. Okay. I don't want this just going in the corner of a room somewhere for show. I want you to wear this and protect yourself.
This is badass. I'm wearing this all the time.
Okay, so he...
Language.
Yeah.
Wait, do your priestess robes go underneath or over? Because you're gonna look like.
I have a little tabard.
Yeah,
Right?
like the Michelin Man.
Actually,
I'm here for service.
I saw pictures of that online. Like, the storm clerics will have plate, But then they just have like a little. It's not even a full tabard. It's like something that comes
like
down
a
from
apron.
From their
there.
weight.
It is
Yeah,
like
it's
an
almost
apron.
like an apron.
It is
Yeah.
almost like an apron.
Yeah,
It
instead of
comes
an
down.
actual tabard. I wish they would fix that,
But-
but they can't. Anyway, to answer your question, your robes can do either.
Okay.
Ara's robes are actually 3 robes, so you wear like an under robe that's basically your around town comfort, and then like if you're doing something official, you can wear an over robe. Both of those will fit under the armor. When you're doing something ceremonious, right? Like the church is doing this thing. It's like a holiday. You wouldn't wear any armor, but you wear like a thicker over robe that shows your rank and like where you're stationed in the city and a bunch of other stuff. And it's super stuffy. And so most priests of Ara don't wear that except for extremely important holidays and very ceremonious.
Right. Like,
Well, that and the fact you look like a Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Right. So if you were to wear that over robe,
Yeah.
you would need to put that on over the armor because it's loose enough, it's billowy enough that you would be able to just sort of loosen the belt and it would
Or
hang
who
off.
are those people from Star Trek? Not Star Trek. The video game with the Zergs. StarCraft.
StarCraft?
You know,
Oh,
The Protoss?
the
the humans
the
have that
Terrans?
armor that's like, and then
the,
some of them have a little like,
Yeah, the Terran Marines look
yeah,
like
the Terran
pretty thick
Marine.
boys.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
like a Terran Marine, whatever.
But yeah, you put it on, and it fits like a glove. It's got some dwarven rune marking like etched into the sides, and they're basically runes of protection and stuff. You can tell that was Grez's contribution. Your dad's etching still needs. I mean, he's good, but you can tell that a dwarven rune master did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise the armor feels great, fits perfectly. It's perfectly sized to you, and just for your character sheets information, plate armor is AC 18.
Nice.
And you can
Where is that?
wear that.
I'm gonna put it-
You'll put it near the top. So if you have a shield, right?
Yeah.
So you'll put 18/20.
20?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and what are you doing with your other armor? Are you going to donate that to the church, or are you going to donate that to your father, or are you going to sell it?
No, I'd probably give it to Dad, the
Okay.
older armor, because if he needs, like, he still made this. Like, I know I'm his kid, but this is
Yeah.
still materials he could have made money from.
Well, but didn't you pay
I did.
some money for Weenig's armor?
I did,
So yeah, as
yeah.
far as your dad's concerned, this is even Steven above board. If you're going to donate that armor to him, he's going to be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, no.
Not like you owed me this, but like, oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah, I can use this.
Yeah,
And
I
put
give
it in
to
your
Dad.
shadow box.
Yeah. Puts it in your
I give it
bedroom,
Catherine's
which will
first
always
armor.
be the same in case you come home.
Yeah, what is it? They cast it so it doesn't move. Yeah,
Bronze.
the shadow box. Or bronze it. Yeah,
Yeah.
bronze
Yeah.
the armor.
Bronze.
You're already
Baby's
metal.
first armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells you that of course you're welcome to sleep there. You know, your room is your room. It's where it's always been. He'll have your. Did you say Arister? You said it was Arister's armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll have Arister's splint mail ready by our day.
I also want to point out that when Catherine puts this, is there any kind of mirrors anywhere in this area? Okay.
Sure.
When Catherine
There's some
puts
polished
this
steel
armor on, she's not just gonna like put it on and be like, oh, this is comfy. I'm gonna be like posing and like flexing muscles that don't exist.
Throwing some kicks
And like.
just to see if you can.
Yeah. That's absolutely what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Pull my little Warhammer thing I've got and
Yeah.
do some fake shield Warhammering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah,
It looks really good, and it's specially fitted just for you.
Good deal.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, it is a good choice. Okay. All right. So, not Restus, Arister.
Right.
I forget. Do you stay at your house?
No.
Do you stay at your mom's house? Where do you stay when you're in the
Either
town?
at the Paladin Order Hall
Uh-huh.
or at the Guild House.
Okay. So where are you tonight?
Probably at the Paladin Guild House.
Okay, so Restus Lacraste, your buddy,
My erstwhile friend who's been missing.
finds
a couple
you.
weeks now.
Yeah, he's been. You were afraid he might have been dead.
Yeah.
He eventually finds you at the Order of the Shield, Paladin Hall.
All right.
He shows up. He's got a bandage, like his arm is completely bandaged, and it's like in a sling. And he tells you that he, got injured.
I can tell that.
He broke his arm and several of his ribs, and so
he survived.
Oh yeah, it was it's the training.
I'm
The
glad.
training
I'm
always
glad to
kicks
see
in.
that you made it away from goblins.
Goblins and bugbears.
Ooh.
I only saw one of the bugbears. He did this to me.
Ooh.
I managed to fell him with the help of about 4 other people. Those
Excellent.
They're
Good work.
they're terribly efficient killers. I mean, I was almost sad to have to kill him because I felt like if I could just get 2 or 3 soldiers trained to do what this guy does, we'd be unstoppable.
Well, had I not been ordered not to do so, I had planned on riding out to avenge your death. But
I saw the roster. I know that you drew a short straw here in Arragas, but lucky me, because I knew where to find you. Is there some place that we can go to celebrate? And he reaches under his wrappings and shows you the neck of a alcohol bottle that he is hiding.
Sure. One thing real quick first. Lay on hands.
Okay. He's like, that feels great. Ooh, a little tender when I breathe, but yeah, that feels great.
Well, hopefully it should speed the recovery of your arm.
I'm sure it will. My ribs my arm is fine. It's just a big old gash across all the muscle. But the ribs, the impact. I mean,
There was a tickle.
gosh, yeah. I mean,
I've had that happen to me.
knocked me clean into the mud.
There was one time I was fighting a rhino dog filled with chaos in a tunnel.
That sounds horrifying.
It was. And let me tell you something.
Did it smell?
Oh, it was wretched.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It got in my mouth. I drank more than a little. Not intentionally, of course. However, I did manage to survive, but I did get rattled around quite a bit.
Yeah, no,
On the
yeah.
sharp rocks.
We've certainly taken a beating.
I know how you feel.
Let's head over to some place where we can crack this open and celebrate.
Excellent. Tell me news of the front.
I will. And so you guys trot off. I mean, you don't have to check out with anybody or anything.
Right.
do you?
No.
Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
gonna
So.
head out to the bars to carouse.
Okay,
As I
yeah.
am
All right, so you guys
to-
head out. That alarm was our 10-minute break, so we will stop right here in order to take a 10-minute stretching of the legs and of the back and refill drinks and refill popcorns and whatever
Right.
else and take care of all of our other biometrics. And we will resume the game at 9:02. 9:02.
902.
So...
All right, Duchess, I like your setup. I approve. It's approved by Catherine.
Oh, I finally found Duchess.
yeah, what?
No one told me she
So-
didn't have a T
Duchess just sent
in
me
the
this
name,
text.
so I
That's her
kept
setup
looking.
right now.
Oh,
Versus
nice.
Duchess gold.
Yeah, that's
Showing
good
up
stuff.
Infuriating.
Got all the important
Terrible.
things up on
Yeah,
the same
basketball
screen.
and
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Yes.
that's good stuff right
That's
there.
fair.
That's good stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. So hey, Aqua Child, good to see you. I hope everything's coming through okay up there in Colorado. I know that your particular area of Colorado doesn't have very incredible internet. So I hope you're getting this as more than just a slideshow. Duchess, hey, good to see you as always. For those of you who are longtime viewers of our show, I strongly recommend following Duchess LOL on Twitch. She's a fellow Twitch caster and a bit of a mentor to us. And she hasn't been on recently, She's fixing a few things, I think, if I remember the discussion correctly. But she'll continue very very soon. She has excellent content, just really fun to watch and hang out with. So I strongly recommend Duchess LOL. If you guys are following us, you should follow her as well. Nerd Therapist, Julie, hello. Good to see you. I'm glad that you can at least have us on your phone or have us on in the background, and it looks like you're paying a little bit of attention. Liliana is not on a vision quest. I said at the beginning that she's just going to be people watching, trying to gather more information about dwarves and humans and other subspecies that are not as smart or as spiritually enlightened as you and the other elves. Yeah. So okay, good, Aqua Child, good. Yeah, I'm really glad for that. So yeah, now that while I'm talking about stuff, I forgot to mention my favorite podcast, Tales and Ales, which is a D&D podcast run by some friends of mine, some good friends of mine. And they play D&D, they play the game, and then they also drink beer. They try new artisan beers, and they try different flavors of beers and stuff, and they review the beers. So if you're a beer aficionado, or a beer snob, as some people refer to them here in Arragas, City of Dreams, Tales and Ales is right up your alley. D&D plus beer. I mean, you can't really go wrong. And I haven't seen my buddy Shaggy yet, but I want to give a shout out to him. He's got a business, a miniature figure painting business. He's located in the OKC Metro. So if you're close enough to role play with me, then you're close enough to maybe get in touch with him if you want some of your figures painted. He does an excellent job. He is easily the number one painting artist as far as figures that I know. With my other friend Brian Clymer running an extremely close second. So those are both. If you get a chance, look up Beard and Brush. That's his business name, and he does custom minis. He doesn't just paint figures; he also can actually build custom figures. So, he's got a lot of extra bits that he can kit mash with. So if you talk to him, he can probably put together what you're looking for. And last but not least, certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to Luton XP, which is my favorite gaming store. It's called the Game Hub of Norman. It's located on Main Street in Norman, Oklahoma. They have lots of D&D stuff there. Oh, excuse me. I'm still getting over this respiratory infection, but Luton XP, they're a great place. They're very family friendly. They've got food and drinks there. They've got hundreds of board games. They've got plenty of tables. It's like it's really kind of cool the way they set it up. They went and got a whole bunch of dining room sets, like dining room table sets. So it's like you're playing at your buddy's house. You go in and they got these huge, nice tables that are with really comfortable seats, and there's plenty of space and plenty of room and lots of games to play. And the really cool thing I think about Luton XP that sort of separates them from other gaming stores is their employees play every game. So when they get a new game in the store, like when they get something from Kickstarter, or when whenever they just get a new game in the store that somebody has donated maybe to the store, my buddy DC, who runs the store, he makes everybody learn how to play the game, so that when customers come in, they can ask for help and say, hey, we don't understand this rule, or hey, how is this supposed to actually work? And anyone who works in the store can answer the question. I just think that's a great value, and it's just a really comfortable place to go role play and play board games and dice games and card games and really just sort of hang out. So I highly recommend it. Luton XP, the Game Hub of Norman. They have a Facebook page. You can find them if you Google them. and they're located on Main Street in Norman. So stop by there and give them a little love and let them know that having a place specifically for games is just a cool idea. It's just a good idea. So, all right. So let's see. Oh, Dusty 2.0 is in the chat. Hey, Dusty, good to see you again, buddy. I wasn't sure. How are you watching the show? Are you watching it on a mobile device or are you watching it on a computer? The reason I ask is because I know that you live a little ways out from the Oklahoma City Metro, and I just wanted to know what your what it's like. Are you getting a good feed? Are you getting a good stream? If you could tell me what you're watching on, I wonder. If you're, and of course, I realize now that if you're on a mobile device, typing out an answer is probably a big old pain in the butt. Sorry about that.
Typing out something at the table. I was dealing with this autistic kid who just decided to hit everything in sight, and I got him pinned up in the corner.
Yeah, Nerd Therapist is in Virginia tonight. I didn't realize you were in Virginia. I didn't realize you were that far away. I knew you were out of the state, but I didn't realize you were in Virginia. That's a ways away.
And I'm like, no, dude, stop it.
Yeah. Duchess, if you ever come on the show as a guest spot, I'll have some specialty tailored armor for you too, for your character too. I'm the DM, so I can just I can make that happen. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a big deal in Arragas. People know me. So.
That's good. It's not quite Libra.
So as a quick update, I was recently awarded affiliate status with Twitch. So I met all of the qualifications. I am now in the process of filling out the tax information and sort of the forms and everything I need. And so eventually, you will on the page you will see both a subscribe button and a donate button. So they're not there. They're not there yet, but I'm working on it. Hopefully by later in the week or at least by the next show, those will be up and running. Yeah, I know. Yeah, gotta get the subscription button on there and set it up so that my subscribers can get all the emotes. And in answer to your question, yes, Duchess, your armor can be better than Amanda's. You're gonna have to deal with Amanda though, so you'll have to deal with Amanda on that one. So we'll. I've already been thinking about some of the cool things that I'm going to offer to my subscribers. I think I want to get you guys a little more involved in the storytelling aspect here. Give you guys some options to to dictate a little bit where the story goes. So we'll start having some subscriber voting and things like that. So.
Yeah. Making sure we're all online.
Yes, bribes. Okay, so Julie has instructed me to tell you, Stephen, that she wants you to tell me what they're talking about.
On the internet?
No. We'll save that later.
I don't know. Okay.
Well, I know something Sean doesn't know. That made me more exciting. It's so exciting that the news. The news is super exciting.
Okay. Well, I am the DM. The knowledge will get to me eventually. It'll get to me eventually. So yeah, some chat crowd control in there maybe. Okay, so we've got everybody back. She says, yes, it's okay. My mom is watching.
Oh God.
What?
Pressure!
Oh,
the
so
mother-in-law's
much
watching.
Here we
You
go.
better not mess this
We
up.
got some
I'll sign
news.
You're going to sign it?
Yeah.
Did that sign what I think it signed?
Yeah, I did.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Okay, congratulations. So it looks like Arragas is going to have a new youngster, and this generation of role players is adding a new generation of role players to the roster. That is some good news. Congratulations.
Well, maybe we're gonna do like 300 and put it out. And
Oh yeah.
Snow
Of course,
and-
right? Yeah, with a pack of dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with a pointy stick.
put it in the
For the
store
Oh my
with some
God.
dogs.
Didn't
That's
Julie
right.
just say her mother was watching?
Right. You know, that's-
It'll be like Leonidas. He will return as a king.
That boy is going to create a grandchild that's exactly like him.
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was
Anyway.
I think that I've never met you, Mrs. Julie, but I think that's pretty spot on.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Yeah.
And you have a wonderful daughter. And congratulations.
Well,
We like
yeah.
your daughter.
Congratulations
Congrats.
indeed to Stephen and Julie who are having a baby.
I look forward to the gender reveal part, which I'm definitely invited
Are
to.
we doing that?
I just invited myself.
That's up to Julie.
All right, good. Okay, good news.
Could be a surprise. Could wait until then.
All right, Junebug. I'm tired of being chewed on. I'm done. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Junebug is our dog, and she's a pain in the butt.
She's a
She
bitch.
just wants to be on the show all the time.
All the time.
All
She's the
time. That's all
assistant
she cares
GM.
about. Yeah, she's the assistant.
She's trying to keep you
You
on
should
target.
have left Julie's chair there so she could sit next to you and be.
Oh, I know, right?
Weirdly,
That would have been.
Julie could have just been a dog that's.
I am an expert
She's
dog
in-
ear
she's in
scratcher,
character.
and this dog just constantly denies me for buttock scratches.
Yeah,
which is
I
the
know.
weirdest thing.
I
It's
know
like,
she is a weirdo.
she just
She is a
needs
weirdo.
I'm gonna bring her chair.
Strange attentions.
You could hear them, Julie.
Well,
Dude, that's so weird because I couldn't
they
hear
have
them. I mean, I
gone
heard
like,
them. I heard them
"Oh," from the other room.
like chirping and stuff.
I'm
That's
sorry.
enough, June. But I didn't hear what they were saying, and you could actually hear them. Wow.
Here you go, baby.
What that tells me is that we have very good microphone. June, look over here. Look at the camera.
Yeah.
All right. This is June. Juniper Bushes, aka Junebug, is not Julie. There's no implied this is Julie for tonight.
Yeah, she is.
Just-
It's Liliana.
It's just, yeah. Oh yeah,
She's
it's
in dog form.
Liliana in dog form. What's the secret passcode if there's danger?
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah. She freezes up our camera. She told me before the show she didn't want to be put on the spot. So. Okay, so back to the game. All right, so you guys head to a tavern.
Local brewery.
Yeah, and it's a nice place. It's close enough to the Paladin Hall that it has to be a nice.
Great.
It's very low key and very
Yeah.
quiet.
We don't like to fight amongst ourselves in the
Yeah.
order.
Anyway, you guys sit down and
And everything goes really quiet.
yeah, he pulls out the bottle, and you recognize it immediately as a bottle that was gifted to him by your wife.
Okay.
And you suddenly realize that today is your wedding anniversary. Like it snuck up on you.
Well, I suddenly got extremely depressed.
Yes, he Restless Lacraste has never missed your wedding anniversary, not in a single year. And normally he brings the bottle of rum or port or whatever with him because it's a gift that your wife gave him when he graduated from Millipole, and so he promised that he would always share it with her. And, you know, obviously, in the past few years, it's just been the two of you drinking. But he pulls it out. The bartender brings over a couple of glasses, and he pours a little bit into each of your cups. And he you know, raises his glass in the toast that it's a standard toast, but it has become tradition with you two. He says, to those who have gone before us, and to those of us who stay behind to remember them.
Hear, hear.
And then he drinks. It's pretty solemn, you know, and he's looking at the bottle of port, and you realize, right as he says it, he says, you know, there's next year I'll be out of this.
We'll have to start a new bottle.
And we will have to start a new bottle. I almost don't want to drink the last of it. You know, I feel like it's having to say goodbye again, and I've barely recovered from saying goodbye the first time.
Well, I don't think I'll ever be able to say goodbye, so.
I understand.
Especially not with the murderer still at large.
He looks at you and he says, "You'll find him.
One day.
You'll find him, and I hope that I'm there to see you mete out the justice that person deserves." So you guys sort of sip and remember, and he starts bringing up the old times. You know, do you remember the time that, you know, this, that, and the other thing? Do you remember
Some reminiscence
what happened
of
at
that.
your wedding? And you remember, you know, how your wife kept me from making a complete ass of myself in front of her sister, and you know, just a lot of good times. He only touches on your daughter briefly. You can tell that it doesn't. Either he doesn't want to talk about it, or he doesn't know yet if you're ready to talk about it, and he's trying to respect.
Well, I'll
that
tell him
sort
that
of
I went
boundary.
back to the house once
Really?
for the first time. Only the basement. I needed a place to hole up. But it should probably be cleaned.
Well, no one's, as far as I know, no one's been in the home other than you since they left us.
I have to make some kind of arrangements for it.
Well, I could talk to your mom, or I know some people who would be discreet about cleaning some things.
Thanks, buddy.
Let me look into it.
I'm really glad you survived.
Well, I survived because of you. I mean, it was you saved my life. It was your decision at the battle that got us out of there before that thing exploded and killed everybody, you know. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank all of the gods that you were my commanding officer that day. We lost a lot of good people, but fortunately, because of you, we can still remember them, and maybe someday find a way to avenge their deaths, or make their deaths have some kind of a meaning, you know.
One day there's going to be blood to pay for blood.
Yeah, he orders around from the bar. He says, "Yeah, let's we can drink to that."
You know, I'm fighting a duel in a few days.
You are.
Yes.
Is this a paladin thing?
I've been accused of murder, apparently.
What? Paladins are way different than I thought.
I didn't commit it. I just think one of my friends maybe accidentally caused someone's death inadvertently.
Okay, well, that's, things happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Murder is a strong word. I don't know any of the details, but I can't imagine you're capable of murder unless it was.
No, I was there, but I didn't witness any of this. I was
I see.
in the midst of showing some ruffians the error of their ways.
Yeah,
As I
that sounds like you.
wanted
Yeah,
to do.
that sounds like you. Well,
But you should come.
I may be able to.
What?
You know, my injury got me voluntold to come back to Arragas and get some supplies and bring back some reports and pick up some orders, and you know they're trying not to, you know,
Have they
embarrass me, but they've pulled me from the front line, and you know, obviously a broken soldier isn't any good to them.
have they retaken Murdo yet?
No, absolutely not. That place is infested with goblins,
Ooh.
and
It's a big mess up there.
we've secured Presho and the Watanga complex, but it's a constant. I mean, from wall to wall, it's a battlefield all the time. Skirmishes.
This isn't a one-time thing, then.
No. They're the leader keeps asking for Commander Osborne. Nobody has any reason, but nobody knows why.
As if a bugbear would be willing to offer terms.
Yeah, it's strange to me that they're being so strategic with their. I mean, you know how goblins are. They're vermin. They swarm.
Apparently, I
And
don't
they-
know how goblins are.
Yeah,
They seem very...
I don't know. If I didn't know any better, I would say that this is, you know, a second wave of some kind from the Battle of the Boneyard. But I mean, it
That
just
doesn't
doesn't make
seem
any sense.
possible.
You know, I mean, these normally the orcs sort of take care of the goblin population because they war with each other, and orcs are stronger. And maybe we killed so many orcs that the goblins have just gotten out of hand. But
I sense that there must be some sort of hand behind all of this.
yeah, I would agree. I mean,
Likely above our pay grades.
this bugbear, you know, nobody. His name is Redmane. That's all anybody ever refers to him as, Redmane. And he's apparently brilliant. He knows how to focus the numbers into something more than just a blunt instrument. I mean, the goblins
Brilliant
are using.
bugbear?
Well, I mean, he's using ambushes. He's using skirmish tactics. He's got picket lines set up.
Did he
He's
kidnap a general?
No, I don't.
He's torturing him for
As
advice?
far as we know, he's killed everyone that he's come across, including about 1/3 of the defenders of Murdo.
That
The
sounds
rest of
very
us fought basically a retreat.
disconcerting.
Yeah, no, it's very it's a real problem. I mean, even with the reinforcements from Arragas, we've we have our hands full every day.
Do you think they'll be able to push all the way to the city?
No, they don't. That's the part that's confusing me and a few of the other officers, is they're not making a run for the city. They've taken over Murdo.
Don't have the numbers.
They want Presho, and Redmane keeps demanding that we deliver Osborne to him, presumably for some execution or
ritual sacrifice.
I don't know.
and some sort of eating, I presume.
Well, you know, as bugbears are,
They're wont to do.
yeah, they do that. But I will tell you, it has given me ample opportunity to witness Sidika. Have you heard of Sidika Blacktalon? She's a paladin of Grimnir.
In fact, I believe I did meet
Oh.
her in the woods.
Be still my beating heart. You should see this woman wield 2 axes at once.
You are a dog.
This is different. This is more than
First off,
than
she
lust.
has already pledged herself to a greater power than what's downstairs.
you know, I'm loath to admit that there are any greater powers than what's downstairs, but you know, I understand duty and honor as much as anyone. I would never stand between her and her God. I just want to stand somewhere close to her bed.
You'll never cease to amaze me.
No, this is different. This is different, Arister. I think I'm really in love. I think I want to marry her.
you realize that the chances of her putting her sword through your chest rise
And
the more
that's-
you interact with her.
And that's what makes her so beautiful. There's something about a woman that can kill me. That's just
It's not can, it's a matter of when.
well, I can think of worse ways to die. I mean, she's stunning. She's so focused and so powerful.
Well, clearly, at some point, you're going to be stabbed by this woman. So
Well,
make sure it's when
she-
I'm nearby so I can save you.
She she wields axes, so it probably won't be a stabbing.
That's true.
I mean, if I'm going to count my blessings, I got to count one of those out among them.
So she's alive and
Oh
still
yeah,
killing.
she. I mean, the woman is putting us to shame. She's always at the front lines. She just wades through. Remember the bugbear that did this? I saw her kill 2 bugbears on her own, and I think about that at night. It's just it's something to see. If you get a chance to see her in battle, I recommend it.
I believe that going to Grimnir's theater and fighting a duel is probably the closest that I want to get.
Well, if I'm still in the city, I'll be there. I'll be there cheering for you.
All right. Well,
When are you supposed to have this duel?
6 days now.
6 days. So we're talking about Luna Day. Okay, right before the vigil. That's auspicious.
Well,
Oh,
hopefully it'll be
okay.
auspicious in my favor.
Let's hope so. Listen, if I write Sadiko a love poem, I'm going to want to run it by you, okay? Because I was never really good at the talky stuff.
From one paladin trying to pick apart the brain of another paladin, it might just be in your best interest to let this one lie.
Well,
But if you must press it, I think bringing her ahead of an enemy would probably be a better love note.
ooh, that's a good idea. I didn't think. Plus, it'll show my prowess.
Indeed.
I tried to fight my way to her once, and she was constantly ahead of me. I couldn't catch up to her.
I just feel
She's
like
so deadly.
I
She's so deadly.
would, bring some friends and be sparse on the details.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have a few more drinks.
Okay?
He basically bids you good night and says that he's got some orders to fill, or some supplies that he has to fill. So he'll do what he can to sort of drag that out a little bit, but he can't drag it too long because people are. I mean, the stuff he's getting is mostly foodstuffs and logistical things. It's not like medicine or weapons or anything like
They
that.
gave him a timetable, but it wasn't like go there and come
Well,
back.
because he's wounded,
He's wounded,
yeah.
yeah.
So they pull him out of the action, but they wanted to give him something to do so they didn't feel worthless.
Well, he should be
and he knows
much
that.
less wounded for his...
Yeah.
Maybe
He'll start feeling better tomorrow. Like he'll notice it.
Yeah.
He'll start feeling like, wow, I can actually move my arm around without hurting a little bit.
Good job, Rachel.
So yeah. Anyway, so he bids himself good night and stumbles out into the evening. Oh, he tucks the bottle of port back under his, and you get the impression that he's doing that to protect it from,
Right.
He doesn't want to smash it on anything. Anyway, he gives you a decent one-armed hug
Okay?
and heads out.
Stay safe. Don't get axed.
We can only hope. All right, so he heads out into the night. You can head back to the Paladin Hall, I guess.
Okay.
If that's where you want to sleep.
Sure.
I will say that you got a as couched as it was, that was a favorable report. The fact that they're not losing ground at
Right,
Brescia means that with the reinforcements, they've at least stabilized, and now they're trying to fight back and
It
retake.
isn't like a slaughter fest.
No. They're doing much better now. and apparently in no small part due to Siddiqa Black Talon's prowess with 2 axes on the battlefield. She's hot. She's hot. All right.
You know, we're good. We have a healthy respect for one another, I think, with our long distance nod that we did. That conveyed a lot.
It did.
So,
Yeah.
Hopefully we will never have to.
Yeah, you guys remember her. She was the one that had all the goblin heads strapped to her saddle.
Well, I will try to stay out of her way so she doesn't accident.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, that is a good call. Makaria, throughout at least one point during the week, you check in with Jenner. You need to do your training. Mm-hmm. You're getting better with the one-handed dueling. He's actually jokingly said that if you keep this up, you'll have your other sword back within a year. But he is actually teaching you a lot of really neat tricks, like ways. He basically divides the zone in front of you into quadrants, and he basically says if you hold your sword like this, you can guard against 3 quadrants. If you hold your sword like this, you can counterattack against 3 quadrants. You know, and you realize that this guy hasn't just practiced with a sword, like he's actually studied form and focus, and he knows how to, like he's actually thought about the follow-up movements to a sword stroke and how to maximize that movement into a block or into another sword stroke. And you start to realize, like, oh man, this guy, you know, gosh, I would have gotten my ass handed to me if I had tried to fight him in that alley. Or if I'd had the opportunity to fight him in the alley. You do start to make friends with some of the other members of Epsilon. Vencarlo is trying to get in your pants. He's at least showing you the respect of not disguising it, right? He's just like, hey, that was a good practice. Why don't we go to bed together? You know, like, I mean, he's just being very brash about it. You can't get anything out of Elise other than trollop, but at least now she nods to you when she says it, so you think maybe it's a greeting, or she's at least acknowledging that you're around. Raheem, no, not Raheem. What's Sandrew? Sandrew, you've spoken to Sandrew several times now. He's the priest of Solion. Mm-hmm. He's a very jovial person, and he's got, you know, he's just sort of, you know, he's got like that warrior wisdom, you know, where he's always introducing a different perspective, right? So when someone's like, oh, I was fighting this guy, then he's like, well, perhaps you should have asked him, you know, how his wife was or whatever. And I don't know. I'm not a warrior, so I'm not as wise as he is. But he's very wise. You have to trust me that Sandra is very wise. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Jarrell, not Elise. Jarrell. Jarrell's the one that calls you troll all the time. Yeah. Okay, so Jenner gets to a point after a couple of days of training where he asks you, is there something that you want to learn from him? Like, why do you keep coming back? Are you just coming back to get your sword? Are you coming back because you want to be part of Epsilon? Like, what do you want? What do you want out of this?
I don't know. I started off just wanting my sword back, but I guess I like the way that you think about a duel, and I feel like I have a lot to learn.
Well, you're right. You have a lot to learn. It takes a lot of courage to be able to admit that. It's only when we start to uncover our weaknesses that we can find the true path to excellence, right? People who lie to themselves about their shortcomings always get bitten by them. So, well, I'll tell you what. You can have your sword back.
Oh.
But you have to bring a trophy for the wall to put in its place.
I see.
There are some rules. It has to be a single opponent. He or she has to know and accept a fight with you. And it needs to be something of importance to the person. I don't want you coming back with, a handkerchief or a shoe or something like that. Like, you need to take something that person, it needs to be a reminder to them and to us that you were the better swords person. Okay? And if you do that, once you bring back a trophy, once you add to our collection, we'll start to consider you an actual member around here instead of just an initiate.
All right.
I'll let you think about it. I mean, there's not really a timetable. Don't wait a month, but I'll let you think about what it is. But yeah, your next task is to bring a trophy to this illustrious wall and add it.
We have the trophy from the lizard people.
I have to best somebody. This is about honor.
Single combat.
It's something you wouldn't know about Vesper. We're talking about.
Honor.
We're talking about.
That sounds like the one foot in the
sounds
grave to me.
tedious.
Yeah.
Seems like a huge waste of time.
You just lie to this guy. And tell him to do something.
It does seem to be the most direct route.
All right. Well, why don't you go now? I'm tired of training you, and come back tomorrow for more training, or if you want, or come back when you've got a trophy for our wall.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye. Do you have any ideas about who you're gonna? Are you just gonna go
Arister.
pick? This is the full plate armor of a paladin again.
Admittedly, I'm a little tougher than I was last time.
Yeah. You need to be careful.
Apparently, I'm just gonna be fighting duels all day.
Yeah. You cannot kill this boy.
I'll
Why not?
heal you
I
up
have
in
a duel
between.
with him.
Be like, okay, fight that guy.
Do you
Full
want
heal,
to
okay,
sub
fight
in for me with this fight? You can challenge this guy, bring back an ear.
I don't know if that's exactly. I mean, I guess this ear is important to
It's
him.
it's
so
irreplaceable, arguably.
It's irreplaceable.
Wah, wah, wah.
Great, we're surrounded by dads now.
That was
This is
only
gonna be dad
that
jokes
was
all
only
over the place.
somewhat intentional.
Yeah. Actually, that's not. That is. That would be possible. The negotiation that you guys had with Thunderstone just said one of you fights one of us. He was talking to Arister, but he didn't say you fight one of us. He said one of you fights one of us. So if you wanted to suggest that to Arister, that wouldn't be out of bounds. I don't
Also,
think.
admittedly, if it's like a no armor, no magic type of affair, that's not my bag.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if that's the case, I would definitely step in.
all right.
Well, and good Joseph.
I don't know if
like
Thunderstone has things that are important to them.
I think they're gonna fight whoever shows up. So
that's true.
Well, yeah. If you guys don't show up with the murderer in custody, they expect to see you guys at Grimnir's.
we're gonna show up
Right.
with the murderer. It's just not gonna be in custody.
Yeah.
We're gonna show up.
I
with
mean,
the murderer.
keep in mind the guy did die from a rapier blade.
Yeah, they know. Okay, so if you guys remember from, I know it was 2 weeks ago, they were like, it was him or it was her, because they're the only two carrying rapiers in the party.
Right.
So they fingered both of these guys and said it was one of them that did it. Because
Well,
they're
I
carrying
didn't have
rapiers.
I didn't have rapiers. I only had the one.
Well, you can make multiple holes.
So his accusation is totally
You
baseless.
can make multiple holes with a single rapier.
Just finger pointing up
and
the
Yeah,
the first
that's-
legal loophole is introduced in Arragas. First legal loophole. Okay, so you're gonna. So I'm assuming you don't really mean that you're gonna fight Arister.
That was immediately the first thing that popped into McCarthy's head, though.
just
She's
because
like, what
we
can
had
I take
previous-
from Arister?
Yeah.
We did have a previous duel.
Hey,
Oh,
baby.
hi, Liliana.
You know that Arister wanted to fight Dagon too. Remember the
That's
Castellani
right.
guy?
One day I'm going to fight him for
Yeah.
some reason or another.
Yeah, one day you guys are gonna have a serious
He
disagreement.
eyeballed me down, and
Yeah.
that's where one day we're going to have to fight.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
yeah. He
rough business
He
with
did size
work.
you up. He did size you up. Okay, so all right. So you think about that. You head out and take care of the rest of your chores and your errands and your investigation and whatever else. And you start flipping through all of the. I'm guessing it's a short list of names of people that you would want to take a trophy from.
Mostly Arister.
Yeah. While you were walking down the street, you run into Calliope from the Dragon's Teardrop. She's there shopping. She's in a market. She's shopping for some stuff. And she gives you kind of a bad look, just kind of squints her little eyes at you. And then she, walks over and decides to confront you, right? Mm-hmm. And she says, most people would, when they've wronged someone, they would try to make it right. And your elf friend is the only one of you who's tried to do anything to make up for the damages and the emotional trauma that my family suffered because of your carelessness.
I would love to make it up. I have been shooed away from there before I even get to the door. And so I wanted to give you your space. But I would love to.
She squints even harder. I can't squint as hard as she's squinting right now. She says, I'll tell you what. Why don't you replace the mug that your little dwarf friend smashed on the floor?
Yeah, your dwarf friend.
It's a high quality mug. It's got a relief.
Not my friend.
It has a relief on the outside that was part of a set, and now the entire set is basically ruined because we're missing the deer relief.
Okay, I just want to say out of character that would be really bad. Like,
I know,
someone
right?
who collects
She's
cups,
got
like,
7
that just hurt
cups
me on
instead of
the
8,
inside. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
keep going. Sorry.
And she says, if you go to, this place, she names off a ceramics place. I should have thought of this before we started
The
the show.
Cupsman.
The Cupsman, yeah. She names off a ceramics place. She says, if you go there, and you get a replacement deer relief, one-handed tankard. Do you need to write this down?
I have a great memory.
Mm-hmm.
Are there
If
two-handed
you
tankards?
get a deer relief one-handed tankard,
Yeah, like a trophy? Oh.
it's part of the autumnal woodlands set. Okay, and that's important because they use different colors in the glazing. I don't want to have 7 cups of one color and then one that's slightly a different color that every drunken Joe off the street can tell.
From what collection? What?
The autumnal.
Can you spell that
Woodlands.
for me, please, madam?
It's the fall woodlands. Autumnal. AUTUMNAL.
Perfect. Good job. That's the high quality you can expect.
Yeah.
Bearded folk.
Yep.
Or educational
Yeah.
as well.
And if you bring me that ceramic cup, then it'll be a good start to making things right.
I will obtain one for you. Post haste.
Just obtain one. I don't need any tasting. Oh, post haste. Okay. I thought you said post haste. which is pose is slang for potatoes. No, you don't know that? Well, you would if you were
Delicious
having
5-pound
a tavern.
potatoes.
All right, so she kind of eyeballs you and gives you one last squinting, and then she's off to get some tomatoes and some celery and a few other things.
Is it a 5-pound bag?
That's a lot. Oh, a 5-pound bag of potatoes.
That's 5 whole pounds.
That's 5 whole pounds. All right, so you now have what may be the first plank on the bridge to rekindling a relationship with the Dragon's Teardrop, which,
Good job.
it's really a big deal because it's the closest bar to the Sable Guard, and
I've been the most upset about this.
yeah,
I want
and
to
Kurga
fix this.
and Kurga has stopped replenishing the Sable Guard bar because you guys are all loafing off of it.
I'm making more.
He's
That's still going to be
seen.
weeks away.
He's seen.
It's got a
Sounds like you're challenging people. And
Imagine if I was like, "Hey Taylor, I've made my own Reese's peanut butter cups," and then you see like this melty ass, nasty with the peanut butter glob in the middle, and it's cooking in the oven, and it's not even shaped like a cup; it's like a bar.
I am proficient in
And yeah, but you'd be skeptical, right? Now imagine a dwarf looking at 2 jugs and a rubber band or whatever you set up in the sun, and the sun out back.
I bought a whole bunch of stuff for the bar. I haven't been drinking any of his stuff.
Well, he doesn't know that. He
Let's
doesn't
be
know
honest.
that. Every time he
let's be
shows
honest
up.
here. when we're fishing, janky Reese's cups out of the oven, I don't think anybody's going to be doing too much complaining. Those things are going down the gullet.
Going down. Is this peanut butter and chocolate?
Cheese kind of.
Anyway,
burned.
he doesn't know that. Every time that he puts anything in the bar, he comes back the next day and it's bone dry.
Yeah, we never
Yeah.
took any of it either.
And I know, but
No
he
one's
doesn't.
taking it.
He's seen, but he does remember seeing you, and Liliana drinking at the bar before.
I bet
With that
thief-
dwarf
I bet
beer
that
I
thief
brought
girl-
back.
I bet the thief girl just steals it all and flips it
Yeah,
to a local bar.
Alizarin. Plus, you guys remember that Babbo Three Fingers shows up at the Sable Guard all the time, and you guys have Pasha.
We need to
Who's
have a
that
talk
really
with him
mopey warlock.
and his whoring, because as soon as he gets an STD, I'm not going to fix it.
He
I've already done that once, I believe.
you're gonna be hard pressed to talk about whoring. And you can chalk. That's another thing you can put in the big book of things that Vesper started.
Yeah.
Because Vesper gave him a gold coin and said, "Hey, go ask for an Arragas steamer," and really opened. You know that song, that Disney song, "A Whole New World."
I'm glad he found a hobby, and apparently it's taking off for him.
Yeah, he's
of
learned a
whoring.
lot.
Babos need love too.
Yeah.
He's learned a lot of new things.
But it's possible to have too much of a good thing.
Well,
And buying ladies of the evening is
Or during the day.
more of like a special occasion type of thing. And I feel
Is
like
it Arister?
that's a good tack. You should take that tack with him when you try to talk him out of.
Yeah.
Also, make
it
sure
needs to be
that
special.
Winky's not anywhere near, because Winky's grown very fond of Babbo as one
No.
of his higher paying
Winky
customers.
is going to be on the ground if he's anywhere near me in this conversation.
I mean, we're just lucky he hasn't mounted the cow yet.
Oh.
Alright.
Oh,
No, he-
God.
So
Oh,
there,
no.
there's
No,
that
no,
mental image for you now.
he
Now
sold
we're
those.
talking about
Hey.
Oh, you sold the oxen?
He sold them
Oh,
I
For
told-
money.
For money.
God only
He
knows what
sold
he did
them
to
for
him.
money.
Oh, sweet
Yeah,
Jesus.
no, he's been
That poor blessed child.
he's been going to college, as it were. He's majoring in everything for one semester.
Okay.
All right, Vesper. You take the opportunity while everyone's investigating, over the course of 3-4 days, to slip off to Versace.
I would like to prep for that just real quick.
Sure.
Since it is a fashion report / secrets exchange,
Sure.
I just find some place that has, like a witch style hat. Except the little,
Okay.
like it's got a hole in it, like the little tip is chopped off.
Okay.
You got a hole. And I want a cane with a glass top.
Oh, nice.
And there's an insert in there that says yes on one side and no on the other.
Okay.
So that I can silently answer somebody.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. So you
Nice.
you get some new accoutrement. You get a new wardrobe. We'll call it that cane's. You want to have this stuff ready for when you go to Versailles?
Yeah, just pick it up on the way. It's fine. Wherever.
Well, the yes and no
So-
glass cane thing. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
everybody
special.
has those, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's not gonna.
It's
I mean,
like,
surely somewhere. We don't need to.
Okay.
We can just.
I'm sure you can find a novelty shop with it.
Yeah.
The magic 2 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't Google that, everybody. Do not Google magic 2-ball. All right, so we'll call it. We'll say that 20. It's going to cost you 20 griffins to get that cane ready by the time you go to Versailles.
All right.
The hat they throw in for free.
Okay.
Okay. Because they just take a regular hat and just a couple shears. And
Oh, we accidentally chopped the top off this one earlier. That's-
Yeah, you find it in
Oh,
an
did
outlet.
Just put a little
You
hand
find
on
it
it.
in Arragas
Yeah.
Outlet Mall.
nice.
It's 80% off because of the mistakes that were made.
Okay.
All right, so you get to Versace and Son tailor shop. You walk in. The son is busy helping a very wealthy looking nobleman who looks like he wants to be seen, right? So he's buying the most audacious colors, and he just wants the frilliest frock and his sleeves like actually hang down to his knees when he raises his hand up.
Almost.
If he were to deign to raise his hand that high.
It's almost literally peacocking.
Yes, yeah. He's definitely he's purchasing the fuzziest shoes with the brightest buckles and just huge, bright colors, right? Versace is in one of the back corners, and he appears to be measuring and cutting fabric.
I'll tip my hat to the gentleman in the outrageous attire
Okay, he sniffs.
as I walk by.
Yeah. It wasn't a sniff of derision. It was a sniff of okay.
I understood. Yeah.
I agree that you can share this space with me. I don't find offense to your having been here. All right, so you get back there to Versace, and he says, "Good day, sir. What can I interest you in?"
I believe we had an appointment.
Yes, I remember now. Did you make some decisions on what types of cloth you wanted for your garment?
Yes, actually, I needed you to look, or this hat I have. If you could just look at the top of it, maybe put your ear to it, see if we can figure out what's wrong with this.
He takes the hat from you and says, "Well, what's wrong with
No,
this?"
I'm
There's
holding it.
a hole. Yeah. He gingerly puts his ear to the hat. It's me, Vesper.
Oh my god, I got
I'm in disguise.
I was like, why is he doing this to a hat? Okay. I finally see what you're doing.
I had this planned out, but I wasn't ready.
I was not prepared.
So very,
I have secrets for you, sir.
He removes the earpiece from his ear, and
Where are you
he
going?
looks at you with a mixture of incredulity and almost like he can't tell if you are being serious or not. And he says,
Thinly veiled disgust.
yeah, I have a vest I would like for you to try on. Follow me to a fitting room, please.
Okay.
He walks away before you.
I follow him. I follow him back.
Right behind you. Lead the way. All right, so he gets you into a fitting room, and he turns around and he says, "That hat is an okay idea, but a bit vaudevillian, don't you think? I mean, your stagecraft is clearly coming through. We're not stage spies, okay? We don't need props. It would a little bit of discretion, maybe some light code work would be fine. What do you have anything of value to me? I tasked you with
I hold up the cane,
bringing you 3 tidbits.
and
He
I have
looks at
it
the
with
cane.
yes.
Code word, right?
I tip the hat again.
Okay. Dazzle me with your first.
Well, so there was a chaotic experiment taking place at Watanga Mining Complex about a week ago.
3 weeks ago?
No.
When was that?
It's like 3 weeks ago.
Like
That
4
was-
days. It was like 4 days ago.
Let's
dude.
see. If we're assuming that this is probably Araday or Hologooter, then we're looking at 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this is way back at the beginning of Buttermoon.
that's right. Yeah, so about 6 weeks ago, there was an experiment involving impregnating a chaotic rhino dog. It was a success, but me and my friends quickly thwarted anything past that.
Back up just a minute.
Secondly,
When you say
a
you have piqued my curiosity with your first tidbit, and
it gets
no one has done that ever. So allow me to indulge a few follow-up questions, if I might.
Okay.
When you say chaotic experiment, do you mean an experiment where the process changes randomly each time you run the experiment, so there's no way to validate the outcomes? Or do you mean chaotic as in chaos?
Yes.
As in agents of? Are you holding up the yes?
We need to get you a cane that does that.
Now
we know.
Okay, so he raises an eyebrow and he says, I did ask you to dazzle me, and you have done so. That how did you come across this tidbit of information?
We fought the rhino dog, killed it, burned it, stabbed it, hung it, disemboweled it, and then we ran across some journals, which brings me to my second secret.
I'm
A
waiting.
chaos-riddled woman named Saris was apparently the one orchestrating all of this. And she was working for a group of individuals within Arragas. And I believe they are planning something larger for the city, as in that was the experiment, then Arragas is going to be the big show.
At this point, he actually pulls out a small notebook and he scribbles some notes
Can
into
I
it.
see?
Sure, make a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh my god. was an Nash 20. Let's see. 6.
6. All right. Yeah, he writes a few things. What he writes is in a shorthand that you don't recognize, and then when he sees that you're trying to peek into his notebook, he snaps it closed.
Just need to make sure we're getting the story straight.
He says that's really an extension of the first tidbit, but since these tidbits are so juicy, I will allow it to be a separate tidbit. So you owe me one more.
Yes. And also somewhat of an extension, but I believe one of the possible suspects would be the Baron Vortigern. I believe he orchestrated the Renaud Castellani marriage. And at the wedding, it seemed like he was going to use that poor girl for some kind of dark ritual. He was telling Olivier Renaud's father that they needed to make sure that she was a virgin, and they were going to use her in some kind of ceremony within the next 2 weeks. They needed is a strict timetable.
I see. That is a fanciful tale, but you made some mistakes. You used words like believe and assume, and I am not interested in your opinions or your theories. I am interested in facts, in information that I can use to further our cause.
Okay, he was wanting a virgin for this. I thought we were doing the spy thing. The codes.
All right, listen. I'm going to examine the validity of your fashion claims, your first 2 claims. I admit that I have not heard such things, but if they are even remotely true, then the persons I work for will need to know. As for your third factoid, I need something more tangible than your beliefs. I need some actual proof.
Well, he did orchestrate the Renaud Castellani.
Great. Then there should be someone who can attest to that, or some paperwork. That's it's not uncommon for wealthy people to patronize the weddings of lower nobility. It's a very common way to sort of show fidelity and show patronage to up-and-coming nobles. It's something that I'm surprised you don't already know about is that many noble families trade in favors because they find money to be
but this is a secret,
quaint and distasteful.
Secret wedding with political repercussions, and
Well, I hardly
it
think
was
there are
initially
political repercussions. I've never heard of the Renauds or the Castellanis.
the reason why the whole rationale for the wedding was that the young couple were so madly in love that they had to go get married in secret, when actually it was just that's just the front for Baron Vortigern's chaotic leanings.
That is a wild claim. What I want is proof. That is your next task.
Surely you have other secrets that you can validate these things against.
That is my business.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you're probably in a better position to fact check these things than I am.
Of course I am. I outrank you in almost every respect. I have a relationship with the truth that's like this. This is me. This is the truth. This is where you might be someday. This is where you are right now. Go get me the proof I asked for.
Wait, but where is the proof?
That's
In
not
that,
my
in
concern.
that example. Is it like
In the arm
Like
example.
here.
how far am I
Mid
from
forearm.
that?
Well, based on the fact that you use the word
Approximate.
believe and assume, I would imagine the
We're
evidence
doing
is quite far
codes.
away indeed.
We're doing codes.
I shall endeavor to remember that in the future.
Alright.
If you want to
And that was a good
excel
idea,
in this
correct?
organization, you need to come better prepared. I'm telling you this for your own good. Fashion is a cutthroat business.
I held up the hat and came prepared.
If you back the wrong trend at the wrong time, it could ruin your business.
I will find out more.
Thank you.
Can I?
I'm not fixing your hat.
No, it's perfect the way it is. What are you talking about? I would like to maybe get outfitted with something. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
What'd you say?
Goodbye.
Go about your business.
All right, so you head out of Versace, having we'll call it a win. You brought him 2 pieces of really good information that he did not have any inkling of whatsoever. The third piece felt to him like just accusations. You need to find some proof that Baron Vortigern is doing something chaotic. I mean, we know he was doing something sleazy, but for all we know, he was just being an asshole old guard nobleman who was, trying to secure some sort of monetary gain through partnership
But
with Renan.
he said
The
openly that, hey, we need a virgin within the next 2 weeks. You need to find
right. That's the part that tipped you off. That made you suspect he might be part of the chaos plot.
Okay, but that's not enough.
Because
Well, no, we
just
need-
because
we
he
need
said that.
physical evidence,
I mean, yeah.
some kind
You
of
guys need to find
witness.
something that's
Yeah.
going to put
Also,
Baron
too,
Vortigern
because he's
in
such
the
a
middle.
high-ranking person.
Yeah.
Like, you can't...
We can't bring unfounded
I
claims.
can do it.
Yeah.
I can do like the courtroom sketch and show him
yeah.
what happened.
Where did they
Yeah, but that
touch
won't
us
be... It's
on
still
the doll?
hearsay. It's hearsay.
Yeah. Plus,
It won't
plus
work with us on the
the
doll,
thing
really.
is remember that. I mean, you took a huge risk just bringing up chaos to Versace at all. Most people respond to chaos in a very superstitious and panicky way. So
I know I
if
do.
you were to publicly come out and say, for example, Baron Vortigern is involved in a chaos plot, and you could not prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, it wouldn't just ruin your reputation in the city, it would ruin your family's reputation in the city. And you might even go to jail for attempting to incite a panic,
Gotcha.
right? I mean, if a book has chaotic stuff inside,
That's what I should have did.
most
Did the book.
yeah, most of the religious
Think of another.
organizations in the city destroy it because it's blasphemous and it's dangerous.
We should have done a
So-
book on him. And then we could have discovered.
Here, just read this for Stacey.
Right.
I'll be right here when you're
Hold
done.
my hat.
Yeah.
please.
And then
What the
when he's zonked out, let's really read at least a fifth of this.
Yeah,
Then when he's zonked out, we'll just be like, hey,
you flip it to a page that says
Like,
Versace's a goofball.
what are the
Clockwork Orange
seekers called? Bedu Seekers? Hey, Bedu Seekers, we got a guy here. Who's
We got a guy.
We got
Yeah.
some proof. Like, I'm not going to say he's caught red-handed, but he is holding a chaos-riddled book, like, in his
Yeah,
hands.
he's got it right now, and he's staring at it like an idiot.
And let me tell you, that thing can take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I smoked the hell out of it.
Yeah. Okay, so you leave Versace and Son with a new mission.
Sure.
You need to find proof, or you need to find some other juicy tidbit, right?
Yeah.
You're not off. As far as he's concerned, you're not off the hook for the bring me 3 facts
Okay.
that are useful to him, right? But you did get the impression from his face that first one, you knocked it out of the park with that one. He was like, what? Like, chaos experiments at Watanga Station? Like, we need to... Or Watanga Mining Complex? We need to figure that out. Okay, so... yeah, it is now 10:04. My alarm has gone off, so we're going to go ahead and close the show right here. Julie should be back next week, we hope, to join us, and we'll have Liliana regale us with her people watching adventures in Arragas City Park or wherever she went to.
Along with our fifth party member.
One of the
Fifth party member?
sixth party member.
Sixth party member.
Yeah,
5.5.
talking about juniper bushes.
She's number 5.5.
Yeah, number 5. Yeah. Okay, so so we'll stop it here, and we'll start next session, I think, with the with Grimnir's Theater.
Okay.
With the events of Grimnir's Theater. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a really good time. I hope that you guys did too. Thanks again, Duchess, on congratulating us for getting affiliate. It was a surprisingly difficult road. I mean, it wasn't the things aren't that hard, but one of the qualifications is how many times you Twitch in a month, and that kind of caught us by surprise. But we were able to adapt and overcome with Tabletop Roundup. Which, by the way, do we need an update on Tabletop Roundup?
It's going to be soon.
Okay.
It's going to be soon.
Because people have emailed me asking for the conclusion.
I will
They're
tell
excited
you,
to know how it
there was a bout of food poisoning and then a bout of work.
Yeah.
So
And then really bad weather.
And
Wasn't
really
that
bad
weather?
weather.
One day we had an ice day. Like, it's been a bad... Maybe we should switch to a Thursday for one time.
We could. That's up to you guys.
We have had a really bad run with Tuesdays.
Yeah, and last Tuesday we couldn't have done it even if we wanted to because I was thick in the middle of upper respiratory infection.
Yeah, we've had 2 sickness calls, a snow day, and then a work conflict. So, man, it's been a while.
I know. But we'll get there. We promise that we will get there.
And there's going to be some cool samurai fights, and everybody's going to be like, dang, that was cool samurai.
That was cool samurai fights.
Yep.
Yep. That's what you get. That's what you get on this channel is cool samurai fights.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Well, have a great night, and thanks for tuning in. And Mom, if you're still watching, I will talk to you later.